Manager, Republic Bank Guyana Limited, Harry Das Ganis, Head of Marketing and Communications, Republic Bank, Janelle Damet, and other members of the marketing team of Republic Bank Guyana Limited, Deputy Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education, Dr. Ritesh Tularam, Assistant Director of Sport, Franklin Wilson, Cricket Development Project Officer, Cricket West Indies, Brennan Ramlal, Honorable Secretary of the Guyana Cricket Board, Mr. Ronald Williams, Chief Operations Manager of Guyana Cricket Board, Anthony Dianrad, Karishma Ramnath, representing Unit of Allied Arts, Ministry of Education, National Cricketers, Anthony Adams, Ashmit Ned, parents, teachers, and of course Ras Kamo, and my esteemed colleagues in the media. A pleasant morning to each and every one of you, and welcome to the official media launch of Republic Bank's Fight for Fun 2025. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you all to stand as we listen to the rendition of Guyana's national anthem. Thank you very much. We'll be seated. I'd like to recognize our coaches as well for Fight for Fun. I'm not sure how many of you had the opportunity to look on the outside, but it's evident that we'll be having some live cricket in a few minutes. But before we head to the field, we have some important presentations right in here from some esteemed persons right in here as well. They say cricket is a game of numbers and partnerships. And at the turn of the century, we have seen that cricket is very lucrative as well. Today we will continue to chart the process of bringing the next set of Guyanese cricket legends. We will begin in the cradle with Republic Bank's Fight for Fun. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John Ram Singh, and I'm honored to be here as your Master of Ceremonies this morning. And I'm happy to see we have two of the three schools represented here this morning. We have St. Stephen's Primary. A round of applause for them, please. And Redeemer Primary. And hopefully sooner rather than later we'll be joined by Sophia Primary. Alright, so while we wait on Sophia, we'll continue with our program really. And in cricket, as we get ready to have our first speaker, we'll have our first speaker, they say, open the batting, right? And he's no stranger to batting, not sure how long his innings lasted, but we'd like to welcome former national youth cricketer who is now a cricket administrator with the Guyana Cricket Board. He's tasked with today, in terms of Fight for Fun, as the coordinator, the national coordinator. He's the Chief Operations Manager for the Guyana Cricket Board. So let's put our hands together to welcome Anthony Dianrad as the addresses this morning.
Thank you, Mr. John Ram Singh. You mentioned me opening the batting. I think the last time I would have opened the batting was probably 10 years ago or more, because the last time I actually played a match, it was 5 years ago, and I wasn't opening the batting then, so you put me on the spot here. Let me acknowledge the members in front. Mr. Franklin Wilson, Assistant Director of Sport of the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. Dr. Ritesh Tularam, Deputy Chief Education Officer at the Ministry of Education, and all representatives from Republic Bank, and Janelle, especially my good friend Janelle. All right, so this morning I've been tasked with standing in for a former West Indies fast bowler. I know he definitely played a higher level of cricket than I would have played. I remember standing in, the last time I was asked to stand in for a fast bowler, I was playing a match and I thought it was an easy task to bowl a couple overs. And after the fourth over, I had replaced the fast bowler while standing for the fast bowler who was injured. And I can remember being the captain, I would always ask them to give me an extra over when they're at the end of the spell, jokingly, because I know they're tired. So on this occasion, after my fourth over, back in the field position, hands and knees, tired, trying to gather all the air I could gather, the same fast bowler would have said, "Skipper, give me one more. Skipper, give me one more." Jokingly, because I would always tell him that. So I'm standing in here for Mr. Rayon King. So to begin with the overview of this tournament, which is actually the third edition of the Republic Bank 5 for Fun Primary School Cricket Tournament. Republic Bank Limited and Cricket West Indies have collaborated on the concept for on the 12th short format cricket initiative called 5 for Fun. Designed for inclusive participation for both boys and girls at the primary school level. The 5 for Fun concept promotes the engagement of 75 primary schools in Guyana, impacting over 1,500 boys and girls. There will be 25 participating schools in each county and further subdivided into 5 zones in Berbice, Demerara, and Essequibo. In Berbice, we'll have the Upper Quarantine Zone, Lower Quarantine Zone, New Amsterdam, Kanji, and West Berbice. In Demerara, we'll have Georgetown, East Bank Demerara, East Coast Demerara, West Demerara, and Upper Demerara. In the Essequibo Zone, we'll have East Bank Essequibo, Wickenham Island, Leguan Island, North Essequibo Coast, and South Essequibo Coast and Bartica. With the 3 counties champions participating in the Republic Bank 5 for Fun Festival Final. The Republic Bank 5 for Fun program is an essential part in the Guyana player development. The cricket concept is intended to achieve the following objectives specific to the targeted age group. Ensure that children have access to primary school cricket. Promote the regional pastime to children at an early age through a fun, safe, and player-centered approach. Provide opportunities through cricket for social and life skill development. Enable children to develop specific age-appropriate competencies across the following performance areas: values, mental focus, tactical awareness with the rules of the game, physical development, nutrition, and recovery. Technical cricket skill development with fielding, wicket keeping, spin bowling, pace bowling, and batting. And finally, possible player talent identification for migration of players, both boys and girls, to the next stage of the age group cricket development pathway, with each zone being staffed with 2 certified coaches. The Republic Bank 5 for Fun program provides active coaching for 30 certified coaches across Guyana and also provides interested teachers, parents, guardians the opportunity to participate in the Cricket West Indies Foundation Cricket online certification program. The structure of this tournament, the 5 for Fun program and competition structure will be divided into 4 key stages. The coaching sessions where you have team preparation, Republic Bank 5 for Fun zonal preliminary matches, Republic Bank 5 for Fun county playoff matches, and then we have the Republic Bank 5 for Fun festival finals. The proposed dates for these activities will start with the in-school training from March 10th to 28th. The preliminary competition will begin on April 28th through May 9th. Then you have the zonal finals, June 2nd to June 6th. And finally, the country final, or the Republic Bank Fight for Fun Finals Day, on June 11th. In closing, I want to recognize the two teams that would have won the previous editions of the tournament. St. All Saints Primary School, which is the school my son goes to currently. And last year, the defending champions who won the tournament last year, St. Teresa's Primary, which is the primary school that I would have attended. So before I go, I want to encourage the schools in Demerara and Essequibo to take this personally and to challenge Borbies and to take the title out of Borbies, even though I'm from Borbies. So best of luck to everyone, and we look forward to having a fantastic year yet again. Thank you.
Right. It's always commendable when former players get back to the sport that has given them so much. And you're stepping in for Rayon Dane King. Rayon King is quite a unique person, not because of his exploits on the field, but he's the only man that I know has 3 names with 4 letters each. I always tell him that. Rayon Dane King. He tends to rule cricket, but he used to rule cricket. Alright. In the structure of cricket, as Anthony had hinted to really, we have clubs, then associations, then county in Guyana, and then national. Ahead of national, there's international, thus we all have an identity in the world, which is West Indies. And every young cricketer aspires to play for West Indies. Representing the international body under which we all fall, that is Cricket West Indies, we now invite to the middle an experienced cricket administrator who, along with an esteemed bunch, were recently re-elected to the helm of Guyana's cricket. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together to welcome the Honourable Secretary of the Guyana Cricket Board, Mr. Ronald Williams.
Thank you very much, John. Representative of Cricket West Indies, representative of the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, representatives of our valued sponsor, Republic Bank, former cricketers, former national cricketers, present national cricketers, school children, parents, ladies and gentlemen. I'm representing both the Cricket West Indies and the Guyana Cricket Board at this morning's launch of the Fight for Fun cricket program, the 3rd edition of it, and with a growing partnership among Cricket West Indies, the Guyana Cricket Board, the Government of Guyana, through its subject ministries, the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, and of course our highly esteemed sponsor, Republic Bank. Cricket West Indies and the Guyana Cricket Board are extremely pleased to continue their partnership with Republic Bank Limited to execute the significant Fight for Fun primary schools cricket program, now in its 3rd year. This cricket program has positively impacted hundreds of children across the 3 counties of Guyana, and the Guyana Cricket Board looks forward to continuing this path and improving the outcomes for the schools and children who eagerly and passionately participate. The program is important as it is the foundation of the national cricket pathway in Guyana and the region, enabling the next generation of cricket stars, you the youngsters, to foster at an early age, a love for our regional game. The Guyana Cricket Board utilizes this important Republic Bank Limited Fight for Fun platform to allow children to showcase their talent and express themselves freely through the game, where through the game where they can be identified and be given an opportunity to progress to the next level of our national cricket pathway. Cricket West Indies and the GCB are committed to this partnership with Republic Bank Limited, the government and other stakeholders to expand cricket opportunities at the national and regional level for both boys and girls. The significance of the sponsorship of Republic Bank Limited cannot be overstated, as we have noted that Republic Bank has engaged in a sponsorship structure unlike any of our other sponsors. And this is what I mean. Many sponsors are pretty much piggybacking on established cricket. So they go off to the highly favored and most popular T20 cricket, the CPL. Of course, we know that Republic Bank is a sponsor of CPL, but Republic Bank did even better than that. They went down to the grassroots level and created this Fight for Fun concept. Now, the term Fight for Fun is neither accidental nor incidental. It goes to where cricket should be developed from at age 12 and under, to inculcate in our youngsters a passion and understanding for the game, which some may feel is more than just a game. It's a part of our West Indian upbringing, a part of our culture, a part of our development, a part of our national welfare. And in that regard, the Republic Bank has done very well. They have taken cricket at the very small level, the grassroots, at the senior level, the CPL, and Republic Bank has also sponsored a very important level cricket, what we refer to at the Guyana Cricket Board as a medium level. That is the under 23 inter-club level. So the Republic Bank has been very, very important and instrumental in the development and progress of cricket in Guyana, and for that I ask to give them a round of applause. When we at the Guyana Cricket Board can see cricketers emerging from places like Moruca and Warapoko, and from down in the Kanjuri River, Barakara, where two of our West Indies stars came from, that's Romario Shepherd and Shamar Joseph. Well, you know what happened in 1923 December when Shamar burst on the scene with a forced ball test wicket, none other than the great Steve Smith, and went on to take 7 wickets and became an overnight sensation. From way down in the Kanji River, we of the Guyana Cricket Board felt justifiably a tremendous sense of achievement. And it reminded us of way back in the 50s and 60s, where from a little village in Berbice, Port Morant, sensational cricket talent emerged, such as Rohan Kanai, Joe Solomon, John Trin, Alvin Kalishran, Basil Butcher emerged from that little village, and it boggled the minds of cricket enthusiasts throughout the world how such talent can emerge from a far-flung village, Port Morant, tucked away on the quarantine in Berbice. And we see the same thing happening now. And this is important for cricket development. Cricket development can only be regarded as national cricket development when it's spread among the counties, within the regions, and far-flung villages as Moruca and Barakara and Warapoka. It means a lot to us, so that when these cricketers emerge and go into the national team, well, you can understand the sense of achievement by the cricket administrators. Wish to take this opportunity to also extend our heartfelt thanks to the government of Guyana in general, and in particular His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali for his hands-on approach to cricket. And the fact that we are represented here today by the subject ministries, the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, shows significantly the importance that His Excellency has attached to the game of cricket, our national sport. Just a few months ago, in August of last year, His Excellency took the initiative to donate over 500 cricket kits to young cricketers, 12 years and under, from across the 10 regions in Guyana at a very, very impressive ceremony held at the Chung Convention Center. Initiative that was very well received and applauded, and has created a important orientation for our young cricketers. The partnership also includes Cricket West Indies. Now, Dr. Kishore Shallow, the president of Cricket West Indies, has already signaled his intention to continue the work of development cricket, and towards that end, he has indicated that there will be development programs at both the under 16 and the under 19 levels, and much more attention will be placed on the development of female cricket. So we have the Cricket West Indies at the starting point of this cricket development at the grassroots stage. And the development at that stage cannot be overemphasized, because everything starts from the youth level. We know you're not going to make top cricketers when they're age 24 and 25. It has to start, build a passion and a great love for the game. Wish to close by again signaling our strong commendation of the sponsorship of Republic Bank. My first order of business today was to go to Republic Bank on a personal errand. By the way, I wish to add that Republic Bank is the bank of choice for the Guyana Cricket Board, and it's been that way for a very long time. Now, Republic Bank recently issued a statement that for the first 1 hour in each working day will be dedicated only for senior citizens. And I gotta say, when they say at Republic Bank that we're the one for you, they do it by word and action, indeed. So when I got there, I went to the guard at the gate and said, "Senior citizen." She turned to me and said, No, sir, I have to see some ID. You know, I cannot begin to tell you the extent of my smile. Those people at the Republic Bank know how to press the right buttons, and they did. And the partnership that they formed with us together with Cricket West Indies and the government of Guyana is a significant one in the development of our youth cricket. We'd like to thank them wholeheartedly. And there's one final point I need to make, and I'm going to make it because it came up recently at the annual general meeting of the Guyana Cricket Board held last week, Saturday, at the LBI Cricket Facility, where the president of the Guyana Cricket Board, Mr. Bisundial Singh, stated that parents are parents, and parents will always be parents. But it has been brought to the attention of the Guyana Cricket Board that there's been a little over-enthusiasm from the parents of the youngsters, in that when the game is being played, the parents tend to get carried away and get involved in the game itself, shouting out advice to the players and making a critical remark. Big red flag. Big red flag. We as cricket administrators know you simply cannot do that. You cannot interfere on the field of play in any way, shape, or form. You have to let those youngsters play, and if mistakes are to be made, let them make it on the field of play. And we have coaches and so on to address those issues. But for players to get involved, it will confuse the youngsters and create more problems than it will solve. So we'd like that important message to be conveyed to the players, and we understand your enthusiasm, it's your love for your children, but we wish to posit that it's not the right procedure. On that note, I wish to thank you all for being here, and I'm looking forward to the exhibition match. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. And some of my colleagues in the media will be using the first hour of the day to go to Republic Bank. Hello, Mr. Vanville. All right. I love the word that you used quite early, Mr. Williams, pathway for cricket and cricket enthusiasts. Because really, this is the pathway. This is where we're starting. And Republic Bank really shouldn't. They have the power to make a difference because they're starting at this Fight for Fun, and they're all the way to the Republic Bank CPL. So they're really putting their money where their mouths are, really. All right, so our next speaker this morning, next presenter will be someone who's no stranger to cricket, no stranger to finance, no stranger to what we're doing today, in fact. With more than 30 years of experience in the banking industry, he's also an ardent cricket fan. Not sure which team he loves the most, right? But he plays softball cricket in his spare time, right? So crunching numbers, having some fun on the weekends and so on. A Sunday cricketer, you may say. But we now like to put our hands together to welcome Mr. Harry Dasganis, who is the commercial manager of Republic Bank Guyana Limited.
Thank you, John. Indeed, my team is Cricket West Indies. Besides West Indies, my other favorite team is India. But if India is playing West Indies, I back West Indies. Mr. Franklin Wilson, Assistant Director of Sport, Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. Dr. Ritesh Tularam, Deputy Chief Education Officer, Ministry of Education. Mr. Ronald Williams, Secretary of Guyana Cricket Board. Mr. Anthony Deandra, Cricket Operations Manager, Guyana Cricket Board. Representatives of Cricket West Indies, Fight for Fun cricket participants, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. It is my absolute pleasure to be here today, not just to launch the third edition of the Republic Bank Fight for Fun Youth Cricket Program, but to ignite a movement. As Nelson Mandela once said, sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Today, Republic Bank stands proudly behind this powerful idea. Using the power of sports to positively shape young lives, sports instill crucial values and life skills in our nation's youth, such as discipline, teamwork, and healthy lifestyle. That is why we are so passionate about initiatives like the Fight for Fun program. We firmly believe that investing in our youth is investing in the future of our nation. This program, which is part of our Power to Make a Difference social investment initiative under the Power to Learn and Power to Succeed pillars, continues to make a positive impact on our youth. It is our sincere hope that through this program we can play a meaningful part in raising a generation of talented, disciplined, and socially conscious young people. As we reflect on our long-standing support for cricket in Guyana and the wider Caribbean, the Fight for Fun program perfectly aligns with our commitment to building resilient and sustainable communities. From supporting local tournaments to title sponsors of the Caribbean Premier League cricket, Republic Bank is deeply invested in fostering a sustainable cricket culture in the region. Last year's tournament was a tremendous success, bringing together hundreds of eager young cricketers from across the country. Both male and female supporters showcased their passion, talent, and commitment to learning the Caribbean's favorite sport. This year promises to be even more exciting, as we will once again see representation from all three counties of Essequibo, Berbice, and Demerara. The one speaker said he's from Berbice. I'm also from Berbice. Right. With 75 schools competing in the zonal preliminaries leading up to the exciting county finals and closing with the country finals to crown this season's champion. To the parents, teachers, and coaches, you are the true champions behind this program. Your support and dedication are without doubt essential drivers that nurture and prepare our children to actively participate in these meaningful sporting activities. To our partner in this venture, Cricket West Indies, and their executing agencies, the Guyana Cricket Board, supported by the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, your tireless efforts and unwavering support are the backbone of why this program continues to be such a success. To our young cricketers, this is your moment. Republic Bank believes in you, supports you, and will be cheering you on every step of the way. Let's make this year Five for Fun one, passion and incredible achievements. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Harry Das Ganis. And just to let you know, I'm from Demerara. At this point in time, I want to recognize a young lady who has put all of this together, the branding and all of the niceties that we have and will be treated to a bit later on. Former staff of NBIC, now Republic Bank, and I learned a long time ago, and I want to get it right. Let's see where it is. Oh yeah. Latchby Singh told me a long time ago, once NBIC, always NBIC. And I guess she's saying now, once Republic Bank, always Republic Bank. Latchby and the team at Branded, thank you very much. With good support from Sonic Business Services as well, so that's why we're so comfortable and having everything just the way we like it. All right. As we move on, like I said earlier, we mentioned cricket is a game of partnerships. So today's event is about partnerships. We saw earlier Cricket Board, Cricket West Indies, and we saw our sponsors, Republic Bank as well. So partnerships are being built along the way. But our youngsters, they're falling now into cricket, which is a sport. So falling under the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport. And at this point in time, I'd like to recognize all of the persons involved in the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport, the various departments. Just recently we had Mashramani. That was really one of the biggest I've seen actually. All right, so the Ministry of Culture, one of our stakeholders in this Fight for Fun. So today with us we have someone who has dedicated his life to sport and has served in many capacities, including president of the Guyana Football Federation, president of some football clubs, cycling clubs, public relations officer for different disciplines, executive posts in other sports including boxing, and an excellent journalist, both electronic and print. Representing the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport this morning, I present to you the Assistant Director of Sport, Mr. Franklin Wilson, my good friend.
Thank you very much, John. He's a ram and he sings well also. Good day, students, players, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. Well, Mr. Dianrad is from Berbice, Mr. Ganis is from Berbice, John is from Demerara. I'm a past student of Redeemer Primary. After listening to Mr. Ganis, I'm sure those of you who don't have a Republic Bank account would be asking to sign up, because only good things are at Republic Bank. Yes, I heard you, Ms. Dummett. It's indeed a privilege to bring you greetings and to be representing the Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Charles Ramson Jr., and of course, by extension, the government of Guyana. at this launch of the 2025 Republic Bank Five for Fun Cricket, which forms part of Cricket West Indies' Future Stars program of introducing this sport to kids at this level. It is also an exciting time for youngsters at this age, as you are afforded the opportunity to learn and be exposed to the fundamentals of cricket at a very early age in an organized atmosphere. You know, I know Rascamo is very competent on the steel pan, but if you look at the steel pan, it's a drum, and if you research the history, it's a drum that a man takes with maybe a chisel, some metal implement, a hammer, and he beats, knocks, beats until it reaches at this level. And when it is played now, it provides sweet music for all of us to enjoy. Picture yourselves as the drums that are going to be knocked out consistently in this Five for Fun cricket program. But eventually, once you stay the course, you'll become like Shamar. We see Mr. Ned here and some other players. If you're watching the female tournament that Cricket West Indies has put on right now, we see Shemaine Campbell and the Guyana team doing pretty well. Unfortunately, not being able to make it to the final. But you one day will also become top class cricketers for the country and Cricket West Indies. Of course, you earn a lot of money, but you got to put in the hard work. All right? So the government of Guyana, through the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport and the National Sports Commission, as you're all aware, have placed a high premium on investing in the sustained development of our athletes across the sporting divide by initiating and supporting the academies amongst the 12 core sports, and cricket is one of the 12 core sports. This approach, like the Republic Bank Five for Fun program, will build, strengthen, and sustain the development of cricket in Guyana and, by extension, the West Indies. Minister Ramson just recently shared the good news, too, that the legendary Guyanese and West Indies maestro, Sir Clive Lloyd, will spearhead the operation and running of the Guyana Cricket Academy, another solid pillar of investment in our youths. There is absolutely no doubt that partnerships between private and public sector entities and the government agencies redounds to success. Republic Bank to not only involved in cricket, and Mr. Gani's here, marketing team ably led by Ms. Domet, they have done a fantastic job with the Republic Bank Division 2 volleyball last year. I think it was the biggest volleyball tournament ever played in Guyana, and we're going to be commencing negotiations shortly for the second edition. It really brought to the fore, because I think the final in the male competition, I think it was, brought together teams from the top of the map, Region 1, and the bottom, Region 9. So this goes to show that once you partner and you're seriously interested in development, it will happen. And this third year of the Republic Bank Five for Fun program is testimony to that. This Republic Bank CWI GCB investment partnership model has indeed been setting a high standard and showing what can be achieved with a deliberate plan to set a solid foundation for this sport. Apart from learning to play the game, the Republic Bank Five for Fun initiative also teaches the young players about developing an attitude of sportsmanship at an early age. It also affords them the opportunity to travel around the country where they are able to meet new friends while showcasing their talent. And I'm sure that the schools are looking forward to traveling to play other teams. Yeah? Look, they're shaking their heads, yes. The government of Guyana will continue to make the investment in developing and maintaining facilities that affords the organizers of this initiative the option of taking the program to any part of Guyana. And the fact that a total of 75 schools from all 3 counties are going to be involved, over 1,500 players. The grounds are there to ensure that you play in a comfortable and safe atmosphere. Also important, I think, in this program is the gender balance. I think for every team of 5, there's going to be 2 female players, right? So that's very important as well, because we're struggling, I think, across the sporting divide to attract females in every aspect of sports. And starting them from this level is critically important to ensure that we sustain their involvement in sports. So once again, on behalf of Minister Ramson Jr., I'd like to wish the players, schools, and officials the very best in this 3rd edition of the program. And again, kudos to Republic Bank, Cricket West Indies, the Guyana Cricket Board, and all those who will be involved in ensuring that the execution of this year's program is done professionally and in a safe manner for our players. Thank you.
For a moment, I thought I was listening to the sport news. I remember Frankie doing the sport news a long time ago and inspiring many of us. And also want to let you know that Frankie, well, I call him Frankie, Mr. Wilson actually played cricket at a reasonably high level, because we played for we also played together for the Guyana media team quite a while, so we were also teammates. We were. I'd like to let our pupils know that not only in Guyana that we'll be having Fight for Fun. Republic Bank is across the region and in territories including St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, and for the first time this year we're having Trinidad and Tobago, right? So you'll be rubbing shoulders basically with counterparts from around the region. So when you play in your zone, in your county, and even to the national level, think about those that are playing in the other countries as well. Maybe you'll be playing against or with them sometime soon. And I'd like to also recognize Cricket Development Project Officer Mr. Brandon Ramla, who's with us. He has been tasked from Cricket West Indies level to go around the region to ensure what we're seeing here in Guyana, and what's happening in Guyana over the next few months, is happening across the region as well. So let's put our hands together for Mr. Ramla. And funny story, Mr. Ramla called me a few days ago to say that he's coming to Guyana for this and so on. And he said, but it's really tough to leave at this time. I was like, yeah, I know you have a family. He said, no, not family. I said, what happened? I said, it's carnival, brother. It's carnival. So nonetheless, we're happy to have him. We'll give him some Guyanese hospitality while we're here, while he's here. So thank you very much, Mr. Ramla, for joining us. We're looking forward to a long relationship. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that he still has memories of what happened yesterday with that devastating fire at the Mays School. But Dr. Tularam is with us today, and he's going to be representing the Ministry of Education, not a stakeholder in the Republic Bank's Fight for Fun. He's a Deputy Chief Education Officer, and he's bringing remarks on behalf of the Honourable Minister and the Ministry. So let's welcome Dr. Ritesh Tularam.
Thank you very much to my good friend, Mr. John. I think he's doing a fantastic job. Can we give him a huge round of applause, please? I think, John, it's a household name in this beautiful space, Guyana. Chair, kindly permit me as well, first of all, to recognize in absentia the Honorable Minister of Education for not being here today. Of course, she is equally involved in an important activity, just as this one, but of course she sends her heartiest congratulations and best wishes to all our participating schools across this region. In light of that, I want to recognize as well our luminary personnels and dignitaries, professionals from the various areas that would have given remarks at this very important launch here this morning. Particularly, I want to recognize our students, because we firmly believe as Guyanese, those are our future leaders and ambassadors of this beautiful country of ours. So I'll ask that we put our hands and give them a huge round of applause for being here. And of course our teachers who are working with them tirelessly and ensuring that they are here. Indeed, it's a pleasure to be here this morning to represent the Honorable Minister of Education and of course the Ministry of Education at this very important launch, the Republic Bank 5 for Fun Cricket. And if my memory serves me well, I think this is the third time I am representing the Ministry and the Minister at this very important event. I want to use the opportunity as well on behalf of the Ministry to congratulate our newly appointed executives of the Guyana Cricket Board. And I think we should give them a huge round of applause. We heard from the secretary just now. And I know that they will be doing a fantastic job as we move this whole business of cricket. Of course, in this rapidly evolving landscape, what is happening in Guyana. And we all know that cricket forms part and parcel of our DNA, if I can say that. Every single individual within every single minuscule of space in Guyana, they are fully aware of the sport cricket. And so the Ministry of Education from the onset fully endorses this initiative that is highly sponsored by the Republic Bank, of course, in collaboration with Cricket West Indies and of course with the Guyana Cricket Board. And so here is where this meshes very smoothly into the Ministry's overarching strategic plan. For those of us who are following the newscast and we have listened to the Honourable Minister of Education on most of the occasions that she would have spoken on, the Ministry of Education would have embarked on what we call the 5 priority areas. And this is in keeping with the Honourable Minister. This is her vision. And the 5 priority areas are as follows. 1, every child, regardless of wherever they are from in terms of the educational district, they must be exposed to the rudimentary of one sport. So they must be exposed to the basics in terms of cricket, volleyball, football, badminton, etc., etc. 1 TVET subject, and we recognize this is where this country is going. We say skill is wealth, and TVET is on the move. So the exposure to 1 TVET subject, TVET here means technical and vocational education and training. They're exposed to the basic and or the rudimentary competencies and attitudes and skill set so that they can exit the secondary school system with a certificate, and hence they can make that meaningful contribution to their community, society, by extension the country at large. The exposure to playing 1 musical instrument, so being it harmonium, tabla, steel pan, keyboard, guitar, etc., etc. There must be that exposure. The rudimentary of 1 foreign language. So English language, we know that is our identity. But of course, given where we're moving as a country, exposure to Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, French, and of course, all these things are dependent on the human resources capacity, the facilities, etc., etc. And ultimately, a sound sense of volunteerism. How do we use all of this here now? And we go back to our respective communities, our society, and by extension of our country at large, and how do we incorporate, disseminate the kind of knowledge that we would have accrued during that journey in helping our people within the various areas. So a strong sense of volunteerism. And so the 5 priority areas, as I have mentioned, is carefully networked into this whole initiative of the 5 for Fun Cricket. And over the years, as I would have said, the Ministry of Education fully endorsed and supported this initiative. And we will continue to work closely with our partners in education to ensure that we foster, we strengthen partnerships and collaborations so that we can realize our national vision for the Ministry of Education, and by extension, what is the national vision set out by the government of Guyana. The Ministry of Education, upon receiving this notification, and I think from Mr. King, and of course from time to time we are always in communication and contact, and so he will pick the phone and call and say, Doc, you know what, I have sent the document, please ensure you follow up, ensure that we are moving closely in getting our approvals. And so, as I said, the Ministry of Education would have moved in the direction recognizing the significant contribution that this partnership is creating to our students at the primary school level. And I think somebody would have mentioned it. Noting that cricket is in our DNA, and we have in our midst here international players, regional players, local players who would have gone into the game, and of course they would have built their career along this line. Here is where we are exposing our students at the primary school level so that they understand the dynamics, they understand the fundamentals, they understand the importance of this whole sport, more so cricket. And of course, as somebody mentioned, this is a very lucrative sport. Once you invest significantly, and investing meaning personally, professionally, as an individual, once you have invested into it, and I heard that from our Assistant Director of Sports, then ultimately this is what is your career projection. So you don't have to be with a fancy tie and a fancy jacket, and you're sitting behind a fancy desk and a chair and a nice office. That doesn't mean that you're earning, a lucrative package. But sports overarchingly can propel you to realize your fullest potentials and making you that individual that you aspire to become. And if you look around the world, look here locally, we have our veterans in sports here, in athletics, in cricket, and all the other disciplines. We have our own local people here who would have scaffolded themselves, and they are making that significant contribution. And so I want to ensure that our participating schools, or the Ministry of Education will want to ensure that our participating schools, over the years we have never had any kind of report in that regard, and we are expecting that this is a primary school we are focusing at. Of course, these are young minds, young children across the various regions, that we ensure that all systems are put in place to ensure that they're safe, their well-being, it's taken care at all times. And ultimately, they can benefit significantly from what this initiative is about to provide to them. And so overarchingly, we are expecting a fun-filled, a safe, and of course, a lifelong learning experience coming out from this initiative. And lastly, and in closing as well, the Ministry of Education will continue to support strongly, committedly, these initiatives with the intention of realizing our goals and our objectives as articulated in our overarching plan. And so once again, I want to say solidly our heartiest thanks and congratulations to the Republic Bank for continuously supporting these initiatives, for consciously, for strategically supporting these initiatives, and as a corporate agency recognizing their roles and responsibilities as well in realizing the national goal. And of course, all the other key players, stakeholders, agencies in playing that critical role, so collectively, holistically, we can realize what is ultimate. And what is ultimate is to ensure that our citizenry, our students, are given the maximum opportunities so that they can realize their fullest potentialities. With those words, I say congratulations to all the teams, and may the best team win the competition. Mind you, all of us are winners in our own space. I thank you very much, and God bless us all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tudoram. We'll have an opportunity for our colleagues in the media to ask questions of our presenters this morning. And also we still have that exhibition cricket to play on the outside. And our children are getting ready. Right? And we have some left-arm spinners in the house. We want to take them on. Some exhibition. We have our three coaches here. He was saying good to see him. Martin Pestano Bell, recently in the news, and Coach Dan Paul. In fact, Coach Dan Paul has been around coaching kiddies for a long time, and he said that he's happy to see that the evolution basically of some of the players under his wings. So before we actually break out into the cricket, we of course the speakers will be participating, looking on as well in that exhibition game. We'll have that on the outside, and the colleagues in the media can ask questions of our speakers individually if you prefer to do it. We call it exclusive. We'll ask Dr. Tularam to come back once again to declare Fight for Fun in Guyana officially open before we head on the outside.
I want the girls and the boys, we must, girls with boys, mix. 3 here, 3 here.
Hi, a pleasant good morning to all. We're here at the media launch of the third edition of the Republic Bank Fight for Fun Primary School Cricket Tournament. This is an important tournament and a partnership between Guyana Cricket Board, Cricket West Indies, and Republic Bank. And it's a very important tournament for us because it aims at the grassroots cricket and targeting that grassroots cricket, primarily being in the primary school.
Okay, last year I think 75 schools would have participated in this initiative and the Fight for Fun. Can you talk to us about how many schools you guys are going to be having this year?
We do have the same number of schools participating again this year, even though we would have liked to have a lot more schools involved. We're sticking to the number of 75, where 25 schools from each county will participate.
And why do you think initiatives like this are important, specifically in young students in primary school specifically, as opposed to having it in, let's say secondary schools or the university per se?
Well, when you look at development of cricket, it initially starts at the grassroots level, which is obviously the integral part of development in any sport. So that area is very, very important where we are targeting those grassroots cricketers.
Is there anything else you'd like to add as it relates to this initiative?
Yeah, we are very pleased, as what I mentioned in the presentation, to be part of this and to have Republic Bank on board, have Cricket West Indies on board. Because as I mentioned numerous times, and the development of cricket starts at the grassroots level, and it goes on. For you to get to West Indies level, obviously you have to have the basics, and the basics, those basics will be taught at this level with coaches assigned to each school and each area, tasked with introducing the basic skills in the game of cricket to those students.
So you can go ahead and just mention that they can get like all the coverage and the updates and stuff from Guyana TV Network on the Guyana Cricket Board TV channel.
All right, and I'm also pleased to announce that Guyana Cricket Board and Guyana TV Network are presently in negotiation to have a partnership where Guyana TV Network will cover all our cricket, both live streaming and other media activities.